You heard what the doctor said. Jason's gonna be fine.
Jason's lying in there because of something that I should have done. You know, I've been so wrapped up in you and me, which is, you know, we've been having fun and everything, but I didn't know that my son was being pulled in a very dangerous place.
Don't blame yourself.
I have to make sure this never happens again. I'm Michael's father. That's first priority. Nothing's more important than the safety of my children.
If there's forgiveness for all the pain, for all the destruction, for all the hurt, the person that he hurt the most was himself. And the life that he damaged was just his own. Oh, his actions were just despicable, but in his own deluded mind, he really thought he was doing the right thing. For all of us over, please forgive him.
Forgive him, Father, for his sin. Who do you want forgiveness for, Monica? And for what?
I know you don't want to believe this, but Jason was wrong. Everything that he said about AJ, that was the drug talking. AJ would have never hurt Jason intentionally.
I don't know, Dr. Quartermain.
No, I know. AJ loved Jason. It was like AJ was the baby brother. He worshipped Jason. I wish you would have known Jason back then. He was the best son that any father could wish for.
I'm really sorry you're going through this, and I know this must be really hard for you.
You don't know. After the accident, AJ was riddled with guilt. He had lost his best friend. He had turned a loving son into the robot that Jason is now.
No. Jason is every bit as loving as any man. AJ, on the other hand, was vicious and hateful.
You didn't know him.
I knew enough.
This is what you wanted to talk to me about? You want me to kill your brother so he won't have to live the rest of his life as a vegetable?
Sam. He tried. It was Dr. Thomas. He tried to kill me. Are you hiding something, Monica?
It's called praying, Sonny. Even a mob boss can't control that.
No, I wouldn't even try. But you mentioned something about someone in pain who needs forgiveness. What are you talking about?
I don't know, pick a name. How about Jason? You turned my son into a killer, he's gonna need a lot of God's mercy for that.
She's lying. Monica was talking about me.
Sam. He tried. It was Dr. Thomas. He tried to kill me.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I was just checking to see if there'd been any change. I'm sorry to say there hasn't been.
Wait, what's wrong with him? Hold on, you were in here with Dr. Thomas?
Yeah, for a second.
What is Jason? Please be all right.
Reese, why am I here?
I want to discuss reopening AJ Quartermain's murder investigation.
So then you agree that Rachel Adair's so-called confession was a decoy?
Yes.
So that Michael doesn't have to face charges.
Michael didn't kill AJ, and neither did Rachel Adair.
Well, Holly, this is what I've been saying all along. Which, of course, leaves us with Sonny.
Everyone seems to believe that AJ was incapable of remorse. It's not true. After the drunk driving accident that put Jason in a coma, AJ was out of his mind with guilt. There was a real possibility that Jason wasn't going to regain consciousness, that he'd have to be put on life support, that he was going to be trapped in his own body. And AJ couldn't bear it. So he tried to convince somebody at General Hospital to end Jason's life.
This actually happened?
Yes. Jason almost died. The flow of oxygen was cut off from his brain.
You telling me you did this, Alan?
No. I'm the one who actually saved his life. But I didn't know anything about this until much later.
How did you find out?
AJ wrote a letter. It was a full confession. He actually wanted to go to the police, but I wouldn't let him.
Okay. Did AJ name the person who injected Jason's IV?
No. It wasn't in the letter. I have no idea.
I do.
Then tell me who tried to kill my son, Sonny?
Oh, your son? Excuse me, Alan, how many times have you told me that Jason was dead in your eyes? Well, you can't take it back now. Jason is lost to you, and you have only yourself to blame.
Why didn't you call me and tell me something was wrong?
What was Dr. Thomas doing when you came in?
I don't know. He was checking on Jason. Nothing that I saw.
Okay, you have to keep him away from Jason, please. Okay, Carly?
Why? What possible reason would Dr. Thomas have to hurt Jason?
Okay, if you never believe a word that I ever say in my entire life, I am begging you just to believe this and keep him away from Jason, please.
Okay, this whole mystery scenario is getting old. Jason is my best friend. It's always been that way. Long before you got
I know.
here.
You really don't know what's going on right now, okay?
And then you're really trying to keep it that way. Why are you trying to squeeze me out?
Gosh, Carly, I
Why don't you
I don't
call
have
me?
time for this petty crap right now, please. I'm asking you.
You're not going to do this to me, Sam.
Carly,
Steaming.
What are you doing?
For 10 years, you tried to force Jason back into a life he didn't remember. You were so determined to get back that son you lost that you just refused to acknowledge the man that he became.
I refuse to accept the choice that he made.
The choices that he made, Alan, were because he was brain damaged. And it was AJ that caused that damage. If it wasn't in that car accident, it was the murderer he hired to kill Jason.
AJ tried to save Jason's life.
You read AJ's confession 10 years ago. You've known this all along.
What was I supposed to do, turn him over to the police?
He should have been accountable. He should have been made to take responsibility for once in his life, Alan. If he had, maybe Michael wouldn't have been kidnapped, maybe you wouldn't have been shot, and he might be alive. You have cost me both my sons, and for that, I cannot forgive you.
Carly, she's not the enemy here. There's a lot you don't know about.
Okay. Well, I'm here now, so tell me.
We don't have time, Carly.
Oh, okay, so you're cutting me out now,
I'm not
too.
cutting you out. It's just that I can't fill you in on everything because Jason's life is in danger.
And I'm not in the inner circle anymore,
No,
right?
no.
Doesn't matter how much I love Jason. You're closing ranks. Okay.
Carly,
Oh, no,
that's not
yeah.
what I'm saying. She all right?
Yeah, he seems to be. Sonny, actually, you know what? Thank God Carly showed up when she did, because she probably saved Jason's life.
Listen. AJ hired somebody in this hospital to kill Jason after the accident.
What?
Alan Quartermain told me the whole thing. He's known all along.
Oh, Dr. Thomas.
Had to be.
That's the connection. The memory Jason was trying to grab onto.
All right, let's take the next logical step here. AJ was making noise about, pleading insanity for the kidnapping case for Michael, right? So he probably went to Dr. Thomas to help him make the case.
Dr. Thomas refuses. AJ threatens to tell about the botch attempt to kill Jason, and Dr. Thomas had to stop him.
And all he has to do is stop Jason from remembering.
Sonny wouldn't murder an innocent woman and then forge a phony suicide note. It's not his style.
A year ago, you were trying to bust that thug. And now you're an expert on the subtleties of Sonny's murdering techniques?
Must make for some interesting pillow talk.
Sonny didn't do it.
Excuse me if I don't take your word for it. Have you got another suspect?
Dr. Thomas,
What, Michael's therapist?
before Rachel Adair died, she told me she saw Dr. Thomas coming out of AJ's room around the time that he was murdered, and I think Dr. Thomas killed Rachel Adair to stop her from telling anybody else.
Uh-huh. And why would Dr. Thomas want to kill AJ?
Well, I think that Dr. Thomas and AJ had some illegal dealings in the past that blew up in the present. It cost AJ his life.
You wouldn't have anything in the way of proof, would you?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, well, until you do, stop wasting my time.
I'm not going anywhere till you tell me what the hell is going on with Jason.